Hey guys, today we'll be discussing about one of the more simpler and more basic topics of Islam, which is Hadith. Hadith is basically the sayings of the Prophet and also the actions of the Prophet. Anything which the Prophet has said or done, how he has lived his life, all that is recorded by his companions in these book of Hadith. Now, why are they so important to us? They're important to us because they help us understand how the Prophet lived his life, and as we have been told in the Quran that for us the best example to follow is the Prophet. So anything which he has done, anything which he has prescribed for us is mentioned in the Hadith. Now how does Hadith differ from the Quran? Well, it's simple. The Quran is the sayings of Allah which have been verbatimly recorded in the form of the Mus'haf, which is the Quran. And the Hadith, as I just said, is what the Prophet used to do and say, which the companions later on recorded. Now technically Hadith is the sayings of Allah as well, because the Prophet never spoke out of his own will. He always spoke what Allah commanded him to speak, and he lived his life strictly abiding by the rules which Allah has laid down for him, because him being a prophet, he had a lot of things to be followed. Now this brings us to a very important question. Why do we need these Hadith? Now Quran is more or less a theory of what you have to do. Sure, there are some practical examples mentioned in the Quran, like the people of the cave and other examples of the Prophet which you can literally follow, but there are some things which are time bound, or there are some things which are purely theoretical. But how to do those things practically and how to follow those things, how to implement them in your day-to-day life, those were done and shown by the Prophet, and that is basically why God sent Prophet. We'll discuss about this in other topics, but Prophet is sent to portray a physical and practical picture of what God wants us to do, and this practicality was recorded in the books of Hadith. So Hadith is nothing but a practical manual to how God wants you to live your life. Now coming to the books of Hadith. Now there are a lot of books of Hadith, a lot of them, and this is the beauty of Islam, that every single aspect of the Prophet's life was recorded, mostly because the people who narrated these Hadith were his wives, so the wives happened to stay very closely and record what he did, and the others were his close friends. So that made the whole collection of Hadith very vast and very diverse. Now coming to the books, there are 6 very popular books. We call them the Sahih Sitta. Now these books are popular. I use the word popular because they are not necessarily authentic. I'll just name them out for you. You have Bukhari, you have Muslim, you have Abu Dawood, Tirmidhi, Sunan Nisa'i, and Sunan Ibn Majah. Now these books are popular because they are mostly used by most scholars. You see, they are quoted by most scholars, but they need not be authentic. Now that brings us to the final point of the video: authenticity of the Hadith. Now some Hadiths are more authentic than the other, while other Hadiths are completely fabricated. Now what do I mean by fabricated Hadiths? When I say fabricated Hadiths, I mean that some people out there have just concocted Hadith out of their own. Now I know this is a little bit of a controversial topic, and I will not be going into this in detail, but in short, you cannot believe every Hadith which is mentioned to you unless you check the authenticity. Now how to check the authenticity of the Hadith and more details about this, I will see to it that I post it in coming videos. Until then, peace. And also, if you have any other topics you want me to speak on, please tweet me or leave a comment. Thank you.